And not only
Good evening. Good evening.
good evening. Good evening.
I think we are showing up where we needed to show up. I was trying to check everything and make sure everything was working like it's supposed to be working. If you see us on live on tonight, because we want to make sure that you're able to see us, you're able to hear us clearly, just give us a thumbs up in the chat to let us know that we are being heard and seen. And then we'll jump right on in.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening. Oh, I got YouTube in the house. So come on, Facebook. Y'all coming through.
Yeah,
Hey, Laura. Hey, Sister Stephanie. Good evening, y'all. Go ahead on and hit share for us and let us know that. So let other people know that we are live on tonight. Hey, honey, thank you. Good, good, good. So if we are showing up where we need to show up, Dr. K.
all right. All right. We are on Facebook.
Yes, we are
Oh,
on Facebook. Were you able to go see
I,
and click it
I,
on your end?
let me see. I see it on YouTube, but where on Facebook? Where are people finding us on Facebook?
They should be able to find us on my page.
Okay,
And
because
then
in the event, we're not in the event.
we're not in the event.
Mm-mm.
Let me see if I could go. If someone would go share inside of the event, if they can.
Yeah, and Dr. Tiff, I don't see it. I don't see it on your page, on your Facebook page either.
It's not showing up on my page.
No, ma'am. No,
You sure?
ma'am. I I just went there. I'm right here.
I'm seeing it
Yeah.
on my page.
I don't. Okay.
Let me see. Let me see, because it may be. Let me make sure it's not showing up private or public or anything like that, because it be doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Edit audience.
Okay. So I
Yep,
yeah.
it was. It was just showing up for just me.
Yeah. See.
It's changed. So you should
Okay.
be able to see. I see one share. Y'all go ahead on and let us know if you are able to share. I know YouTube, you guys should be in the clear and able to see and copy the link and all of that stuff. All
Yeah.
of the
We listen. We just doing what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? It just we just got to make sure that there we go. There we go. Okay.
that's
All
it.
right. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Not tonight. We won't be defeated tonight.
Not tonight.
Tonight.
So hey, Dr. Tiff, how are you?
Doing good. I was telling you, we survived Snowmageddon.
Look,
You know, we only get snow like once every what, 10 years.
wow. How much did y'all get down there?
We got like 4 or 5 inches. We
Whoa.
graduated. Usually we don't quit
Did the schools close down
all
and
week.
no bread in the inn?
No, no water, no toilet tissue, all the things. You
All of
know,
that gone, gone, gone.
gone, gone. Hey, Kiara. Kiara's on.
All right,
Hello. The
all
future
right,
Dr. Kiara Brown is
all
on.
right,
She's a fellow therapist, amazing therapist. I just love her. And she went viral on TikTok for doing
all
what she did.
right,
And I love her. Absolutely love her. Stephanie's
all
on.
right.
Megan is on. All right. Okay. Laura said we got six and a half.
Okay,
Oh, y'all got 6.5? And correction. We got 6.5, Dr. K.
okay, all
Yeah,
right.
six
All
and
right,
a half
six and a half what?
inches of snow.
Oh, oh, oh. It's like 6.5 people. Like, what's happening here? What? That's him. When you work with a senior citizen, you gotta make things clear. Okay. Okay, 6.5 inches. Yes. Okay. All
We got it. We on the same page.
right.
Yeah, we're on
Okay.
the same.
All right. All right. So y'all recovering from the snowstorm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
It's
right.
on.
All
Hey,
right.
Danielle. Sh- Hello, y'all. We are so excited about tonight.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the restoring of the broken heart series, and it's going to be a series because each Friday night, all the way up until the 21st of February, we're going to come to you guys and talk about something related to broken heart. On tonight, we're going to focus on relationships, which is both of our jams. So I'm really excited about tonight. The amazing Dr. K, who needs no introduction. You guys, you know her. We know who she is, the emotional strategist. And so we're so excited to be with you guys on tonight. And Dr. K, you wanna kick this thing off? How you want to do it?
Listen, you just go right on. I just want to say that, we're going to continue with doing our weekly get-togethers, and I'm really excited for the series thing that God has given us, all leading up to the pajama party. Remember we had it, and now our upcoming pajama party, which we scheduled for the 28th of
Mhm.
February. Yes, of course, having the same theme. So we're grateful that God has laid it upon our hearts to begin to talk about broken relationships, healing relationships. We know that God is a restorer of the breach, that God is a restorer. And so it is just an amazing topic. And we're going to end with a pajama party that's going to be off the chain like the last one was. So tonight we start our series, and Dr. Tiff, I'm giving you the baton.
All right. And so I do want to start with some introductions because there may be somebody on who don't know who either one of us are. So tell us a little bit about like who you are, Dr. K, and about this new book that you launched.
Oh, well. Yes, I am Dr. K, the emotional wound strategist. I have been a therapist for approximately 30 years, and I tell people all the time by day, I've been at my school district for 25 years working with children from kindergarten to high school. We have a school that has all of our students have IEPs. All of our students are, it's like an alternative school. And so I've been with my district for 25 years by day. By night, I am the founder of Heal My Wounded Place. And so that is my private practice where I do therapy, where I do coaching, where I do webinars, where I write books. And today I released my book on imposter syndrome and gaslighting, which is a topic that is not just a popular topic, but it is a topic that many people experience. And so, really excited. I released my ebook about that particular topic. I'm grateful. Love to be in the space of being used to just teach people that they are worth healing. Yes. And that healing is their portion. Yes. And so that's me. And Dr. Tiff, who you be?
Well, oh, congratulations again on the book. When I saw
Thank
it, I was so
you.
excited about
Thank
it. For
you.
those of you who do not know me, I am Dr. Tiffany Ross. I am also a therapist. I work with children and adolescents, and I'm also, like Dr. K said, by night, the founder of Healed University.
Woo!
We launched our first cohort back in December. We started in January with some amazing women, and I'm so excited that God trusts me in that space.
Yes.
Healed University is an 8-week course, and we focus on training, equipping, and birthing out the next era of leading ladies. And so we're getting ready to launch our next cohort in April 2025. But I mean, Dr. K is going amazing.
I love
Amazing.
it. I
You know
love
how
it.
you feel like you just kind of doing what you should have been doing all
What
along.
you were
Yeah,
born to do, right?
and
Yes.
that's how I feel. And so I'm so excited with these ladies that they trust me in this space. I'm looking forward to what
Hallelujah.
God is going to continue to do with Healed University. I'm excited for what we're gonna do in
Yes.
February 28th, continuing the Girls' Night of Healing. Because both of us
Woo!
we got our like we're on a mission. Like we're on a
Yes.
mission this
Yes.
year. We're on
Yes.
we're on a mission
Yes.
for women's empowerment. And specifically, I know both of our hearts are for women who are in leadership or who are
Yes.
aspiring leaders. And so we're on the mission. We gotta get up. We gotta rise up. These women gotta rise up to where God has always meant for them to be. We're not
Um,
behind. We're not behind time. We are
mm,
on time. And I
we
just
are on
believe that
time.
we are in a year. The Lord put in my spirit that we are in the middle of a cycle breaking year. And so I just
Hallelujah.
believe that we're on assignment to help partner along
Hallelujah.
with these women to help break some cycles so they can
Yes.
rise up and be who God has called for them to be.
We are in the middle of a what, Dr. Tiff?
Cycle breaking year.
I love that. Come on here because healing interrupts patterns and breaks
That's
cycles.
it.
So we
That's it.
right in the middle of that thing.
Right in the
Woo!
middle. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love
Right
it.
in the middle. So
Yes.
tonight we're going to be talking about restoring broken relationships. So I want to start here, Dr. K, with just kind of giving some definition to what it looks like when a relationship is broken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So go, Dr. Tiff. What does it look like when a relationship is broken? Can you please tell us?
Absolutely, I can. Since you want to throw it back at me, come on, Dr. K. Come on, take us on a ride. Yes, I can, and it really just kind of depends too, Dr. K, because I think it looks different depending on the relationship.
Yes,
When
yes.
marriages go broken, then it looks like not communicating or not communicating effectively, or
Mhm,
what they say, growing apart. I don't believe people grow apart. I think they just stop communicating. They stop
mhm.
communicating what they need, what they want. Like they stop communicating love, because love is an action word. Like we don't
Yeah,
just strive to love. We don't fall in love. No, we do things that make us grow deeper and deeper in love with our partners. And when you're not doing that, when you're not pouring into your person, and they're not pouring back into you, and it's not a mutual thing, then you do separate. You start
yeah,
separating. So, but when it's broken, it almost it's beyond repair. It's years and years of not repairing or not showing love or not communicating effectively.
mhm, mhm.
Years and years of that. So I think it depends, it varies depending on the relationships. What do you think?
I think that is 100% correct because a broken marriage doesn't look like a broken friendship,
Mm,
right? Doesn't look like a broken mother daughter relationship, father son relationship. So definitely, but when you talk about marriage, yes, Dr. K really believes, I really believe that the beauty of being in a marriage is that you get to set the culture and the temperature of your marriage, right? And so a marriage that is whole is a marriage that has, I call them three pillars: communication, compromise, and connectedness. And
yeah,
so
that's
when
good.
those three spaces are broken, when those three spaces are not working collectively together, then you're going to have brokenness, right? If you're not connecting, if you're not communicating, and if you're choosing not to compromise,
Mm.
eventually there will be a split, and you will all of a sudden find yourself in two corners of the same room. And so
Oh
one of
yeah.
the things, and sometimes, Dr. Tiff, you said years. Well, the reality is sometimes it could take a month. Sometimes it
Mm.
could take 2 months because some of us are getting married and there probably issues even before we've gotten
Ooh,
married, right? So that's a whole nother scenario. Yes. And so definitely we know that the covenant of marriage is God's heartbeat, right? And so we know that anything that God loves, the enemy hates. And so we
mm,
know that the enemy comes specifically for marriages because the enemy hates covenant, right?
yeah,
So we know that God wants to restore marriages. And so communicating, compromising, staying connected, understanding that your marriage takes work. That's one space that it's funny how people think once they get married that their marriage is just going to be, that you're just married. But no, you have to be intentional about your marriage. And there are specific tools and strategies and ways to help. And definitely through communicating, definitely through keeping your marriage a priority, right? Keeping each other a priority, right? So yeah, he wants to restore marriages. And so a broken marriage is not beyond repair if we give it to God.
yeah, 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 yeah. So what does that look like, Dr. K, for marriage? Because we know marriage is a covenant. But what does
Absolutely.
that look like for someone who is dating? Because what I find is a lot of times people want to give marriage privileges to a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And what we don't, that ain't gonna work. Those principles, what you just said, the compromise and the communication. Yeah, it takes
Mhm.
that for a relationship, the connectedness. It takes that for any relationship because those are pillars. Like
Yeah.
that's the pillar of any relationship. But when it comes down to a dating relationship, what does that look
Mhm.
like exactly?
So it's funny that you asked me that, Dr. Tim, and I'm tickled because I am amazed at how dating looks in 2025. Now I really don't want to show my age, but it's a lot of things going down that really the Bible says he'll keep us if we want to be kept. And so, there's some practices and things, honestly, that we have kind of embraced in the body that just don't help us stay kept, right? So, true story, real quick, and I know we ain't gonna be on here long, but
Yeah.
Dr. Tim, when I was dating my husband wasn't a traveling evangelist, right? And so we would go, I mean, we traveled the country preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. But when in the beginning of our relationship, I remember we went to this one church now. And so, we walked in. Now Dr. Tim, we weren't holding hands, because we were scared. Like, back in the day, baby, you ain't come up in the sanctuary. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no. You just didn't do it. So we weren't holding hands or anything. My husband walked in and I saw the preacher look at me, right? He did one of them like, and I'm like, right? And so then, long story short, the pastor had a long talk with my husband, and he said, if that is your girlfriend, she should not be traveling with you when you're going to preach. And I was like, what? Right? And so then I thought, he bugging. But like now, like I get it, because now that may have been a little harsh. Yes. But what what is not good is now this thing where we go on vacations together
Yeah.
and
Come
we're
on.
not married. No, no, no. What? No, no, no. That because Dr. Tip, you said it very eloquently, and I love the way you said it. My grandmama said it like, why buy the cow when the milk is free?
It's
See, y'all,
free.
listen, you when you're dating, you're not married,
Yeah.
okay? You
Say
know,
that slowly. Like you said it slowly, but say it again. Because I don't think people get that these days, Dr. K.
yeah, that when you're dating, you're not married. And so, it's there has to be a commitment. First of all, your commitment to God matters, because your commitment to God will show up in your relationship, in every
Oh,
relationship. Come
yeah.
on here. It's
Yeah.
one thing to want to please him and fall. It's another thing to just be out here slinging and swinging and acting like you're married. Yeah, y'all, listen, let me tell you something. There is a way to carry yourself when
Yeah.
you are dating. You do not belong to each other. There is no covenant there. So there are certain scenarios that you just should not be finding yourself in. You cannot have Trey songs playing in the background and the
Yeah.
lights off and talking about you want to be kept. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to be kept. So, that's just talking about sex. I'm not only just talking about, I'm talking about how you carry yourself. I'm talking about this day where the girl is going over the guy's house and the girl is driving to see the guy. No, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Listen, how you allow that guy, that woman to treat you is how
Mhm.
you allow that guy or that woman to treat you. Understand your worth,
Yeah.
understand your value, understand your commitment to God. Yes. All of this new stuff that y'all doing out in these, listen, stop playing. Listen, fire burns. Stop playing with it. Stop playing with it, because you will eventually get burnt. And that is not God's desire for your
Yeah.
life. He
Yeah.
desires you to be a woman, a vessel of honor,
Yeah.
both man and female. And
Yeah.
so, that I, I digress. I can go on a whole tangent. I can go on a whole tangent. Dr. Tiff. Okay, go on. Next topic. Dr. Tiff, do you have something you would like to see? You don't see, that's stuff's close to my heart.
I
Yes.
know, I know, and I'm gonna tell you from experience, Dr. K, because my husband, we transparent over here. It's what we do.
Always,
We
always.
didn't start our relationship off the best way, but
Mhm.
baby, when I tell you, when I closed the store,
Uh-huh.
Stop giving the milk for free.
Uh-huh.
He made his decision real quickly.
Oh, so that
What he
impeded upon his decision-making process now, did it?
It impeded upon his decision making process. And so and what we don't understand too, Dr. K, is the reason why we do these things. Like, of course, flesh is gonna flesh, like we know that part.
Absolutely.
But a lot of it is connected to, like you said, your self-worth. And so
Yeah.
we put ourselves in positions to where our hearts are so easily broken. And I'm
Yes.
like, look, that no wonder the Lord tells us to guard our heart, because
Mm,
above all else, that's where our issues flow from.
they are
Your
issues.
issues are there. So if your behavior is reflective of something that's not, it's not what you, because everybody is not, everybody's not a believer. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
We know that.
Absolutely.
But if your behavior is not reflective of someone who is showing up respectfully or even dressing respectfully, then that's connected to some issues that's in your heart. And we have to go on this soul search of why
Mm,
it is that we keep attracting these partners, especially for those who are in relationships, dating relationships, and they have these partners, and they always, end up breaking up with people because of a specific reason, or they
mhm.
always end up with partners that mistreat them, or
Yeah.
don't respect them well, or don't treat them,
Yeah.
value who they are,
Yeah.
or who are not going in the same direction that they are.
Yeah.
At some point we have to stop and say, like, how am I showing up in the world?
Yes,
Am I putting
absolutely.
my heart out there to be broken repeatedly? And at what point do I say, you know what? This is not it. This is not how
Mm,
I want to continue dating. I don't
mhm.
care if I don't meet the man of my dreams. He don't exist no way, baby. He don't exist. There is no man of your dream. You shouldn't even want a man of your dream. You should want a man that God desires for you, because it's
Mm,
only then that it's going to be successful. It's going to be hard either way. So you might as well have somebody that God designed for you. You may as well have.
hallelujah.
We have to stop and say, okay, am I putting my heart out there to be broken
Yeah.
over and over? And if I am, why am I doing that?
Why am I doing it? And is it something dealing, that I don't believe I'm worth it? Right?
Yeah.
I don't believe I'll ever find it. So I'm just gonna settle for this. No, we
Ooh,
ain't no settling. You don't
yeah.
have to
Yeah.
settle. You don't have to settle. You have to, as you have to believe, and this is what I believe, and this is what I teach. What is for you will find you.
Yeah.
What is for you will find you. And let me tell you something. I understand what social media puts out here. I understand what the media puts out here. But let me tell you something. They may like that, but they not gonna marry that.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay, they may like that, and that may be for a good time, but that ain't gonna be for something that they want for a lifetime. Because
Yeah.
baby, a good time is not a lifetime. And so you
Mm-hmm.
have to carry yourself like a good time girl and a good
Yeah.
time guy. Okay. Don't get caught up because let me tell you something. And then Dr. Tiff, I'm gonna digress. Listen, we're talking about broken hearts, baby. You can get your heart so broken, it will mess you all the
Oh,
way up.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, it will rock your world because you keep putting yourself out there, hoping. You keep saying, this whole thing, living together because he's my fiance. No, 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 no. She's my fiance. Y'all not married. Y'all not married. Y'all doing all this married stuff, but you're not married. Either you're married or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so stop giving yourself away. Stop to find out, oh, he was doing this or oh, she was doing that. There's some things you need to guard because at the end of the day, everybody doesn't deserve that space in your heart. Listen, you only have one heart. You
Yeah.
got listen, you getting so many bullet holes that by the
Oh,
time the man comes or the woman comes, you ain't gonna be no good for nothing. You ain't gonna trust nobody. You're not gonna believe. You're gonna think you're gonna be paranoid. You're gonna think they'll never be faithful to you because you keep giving your heart away. Stop
yeah.
giving your heart away. Guard it. Guard,
Yes.
lock that thing up. Don't know.
Yes.
Listen, clink, clink, lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up because you're worth it. You are
Yes.
worth it. You are
Yes.
worth keeping yourself. You're worth it. Everybody don't deserve you. What you
Mhm.
doing? They don't deserve you because they telling you you cute. They don't deserve you just because they say you handsome. No, you better make somebody work for what you're worth.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
Work
Thank
for
you.
what you worth. I love it. Work for what you worth.
That's
Yes.
it. You got to work for this thing.
Yes. 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 And the bully holes is what makes marriage
Woo.
hard, Dr. K.
Listen,
It's the
listen.
bully hole. That's why marriage is so hard for people. And I think I went through this thing because I used to think, okay, I think I'm gonna work with relationships. That ain't what God called me to do. He ain't called me to work with relationships on that level. That's not exactly what he called me to do. But he dropped this in me one day that relationships should not be hard work. We
Mm,
should work in relationships because that's
mhm,
just your two people, but it
mhm,
should not really be hard. What makes it hard is the things that you did before you got to the marriage. That's what makes it
mm,
harder. So it should be work.
mm,
Yeah, we should work. We should work to get
mhm,
to know our spouse. But the hard, like we shouldn't toil for nothing. We shouldn't toil in no
mm,
relationship. We shouldn't toil in no marriage. It shouldn't be in no friendship. It shouldn't be on no job. Like God, that's the slavery system. God didn't call us to that system. He delivered us out of that
mhm.
system. So if
Yeah,
there's toil there, that's something else. There's some healing that needs to take place. That's
yeah.
brokenness somewhere that didn't get healed along the way because we should not be toiling.
Yeah, yeah, and and Dr. Tiffin, I promise you, I'm done after this. One of the reasons, one of the dangers, one of the reasons why God also wants to keep us is because it's hard to break a soul tie.
Ooh, ooh,
Every
yeah.
you knitting yourself up, and people. Let me share this, and then I listen. Everybody, a lot of people believe soul ties are all about having sex. Listen, you can have a soul tie with somebody that you text every day. A
That's it.
soul tie can be developed. You can have a soul tie with somebody that you go out with every weekend. It is when your heart is vulnerable, a
Mhm.
soul tie can develop. And here you just open it, you just an open book, you an open window. You getting all of these soul ties. And then when the right relationship, when the right friendship comes, you're all over the place because
Yeah,
you've opened yourself up to all of these different people, all of
yeah,
these different personalities, all of these different spirits, all of these different wounds. And so you just a mess when it comes to relationships. Listen, we are here to tell you God is a restorer. He
yeah.
wants to restore you, but he also wants you to walk a different way.
Yes.
You are not to be played with. You are not to be opened by everybody and anybody. You are not to be just giving yourself away. And everybody always thinks sexually. Yes,
Mm,
no, absolutely not. But not your heart space. Everybody doesn't deserve a space in your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your
yes.
heart. Guard your heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. K, now you know when we
Mm,
start talking
okay.
how it is when we start
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
We done covered a whole lot of ground with
Whole
marriage,
lot of ground.
relationships, friendships.
Mhm.
We've covered quite a few grounds, but I even want to deal with this too while we're here before we just kind of end
Yeah.
is friendships
Mm.
and what that looks like. Yeah, I know.
Mm.
For your heart to be broken in friendships.
Listen, I've shared my testimony over and over and over again. One of my biggest heartbreaks was from my friend. And listen, I cried real tears. That was a 10-year friendship. And so yeah, it hurts, and it hurts bad when you get betrayed by somebody you love, when you all of a sudden somebody you thought you were going that person was going to be with you for the rest of your life, and your friend, that y'all thought, you were going to do life together like the next 20, 30 years, and something happens, jealousy seeps in, or a lot of times, when we talk about how we start moving different when we were single, and then one of your friends gets a boyfriend, and how you start forgetting about your friend because you got a new boyfriend, or vice versa. Yeah, that stuff can hurt. That's
Mhm.
those are real spaces, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that is a real space. I can remember, Tiff, and I've never shared this, but uh, yeah, I'm not gonna share it now. Go on, Dr. Tiff. I'll share it another time. 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 But anyway, listen,
Okay.
friendships can hurt. They can hurt.
They,
They can
they
hurt.
can. They
Yes,
can. And
yes.
I've had some too, Dr. K, that where we just kind of grew apart. Like you
Mm,
realize that some friends are seasonal.
seasonal.
They
Yeah.
really are. And then when they happen, because I'm like you, like I've had friends, I'm like, oh, like we're gonna be ace boon cool.
Yeah.
We at each other's weddings, like we're gonna
Yeah.
help, we're gonna raise each other's children.
Children,
And I'm,
auntie,
yeah,
uncle.
the auntie, because I didn't have a tight relationship with my sister growing up.
Same.
So my friends were kind of like my substitute
Auntie and
sisters.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
But
Same.
when the season changes
Yeah.
and you realize, okay,
Yeah.
I can't go where they're going, or
Mm-mm.
they can't go where I'm going.
Mhm.
And when I didn't realize, like in my immature stage, I'm like, what's going on? Why is it that, like, that rejection seeps in and that
Yeah.
abandonment, because those are wounds that God was healing in me at that time.
Yeah.
When that seeps in, I'm like, what is wrong? Why are they like rejecting me, or why they're
Yeah.
abandoning me?
Yeah.
And in my mature stage now, it's like, no,
Mhm.
they weren't. It's just the fact that sometimes they cannot go where you're going, and
Mhm.
you got need that separation in order for
Mhm.
you to grow. Because you don't realize sometimes you can hinder each other's growth because
Yeah.
you're still stuck in a phase. And
Mhm.
true friendships always will come back together at some point
Mhm.
in time. But
Mhm.
sometimes you just can't go. And that heartbreak of
Mhm.
losing that, it
Mhm.
hurts. And it's
Yeah.
real heartbreak, Dr. K.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Real.
real. It's
Yeah.
real. I mean, I cry tears in my pillow, and then,
Yeah.
but Dr. Tiff, it's also true that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as we're growing and as we're advancing and as we're moving, sometimes the enemy starts planting things in their head to divide, steal, kill, and destroy, right? So it could have been a real friendship, but somehow the enemy got in. But at the end of the day, God allowed it. God allowed it. And so there is a lesson, there is a space where you're going to grow from it. I can tell you that particular scenario literally changed me in so many different ways, right? And so yeah, we don't talk enough about what happens when your friend breaks your heart. And that's a
Ooh,
real
yeah,
thing. That's a
it
real
is.
yeah, yeah,
It is. It is a real thing. It's a real
yeah.
thing. Well,
Mhm.
it has been amazing because I don't want to keep you on here too long. I know you and I have had a long day at work. But
Yeah.
for those of you who are on, oh, Tria said, I'll tell my testimony one day. It sounds like we got a third person that want to come on, Dr. K, to tell her
Oh,
testimony. Okay, Tria.
okay.
Okay. I see you. Don't play with me, Tria. We'll be done added you on this live. We done added you,
She,
though. Hey,
she indeed has a testimony. Listen, look, hey, what the mother say? Keep living, baby.
you living.
That
We
keep
all
living.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's been amazing tonight, Dr. K. But for those of you who have questions, because I know we may have touched on some things tonight that you may have questions about. Like I don't mind staying on a couple more minutes. If you don't, Dr. K.
No, no, ma'am. I'm fine.
For
Sure.
those who may have questions, you go ahead and
Absolutely.
drop them in the comments. Now, our little system here may not, we'll, if we don't get it live. We'll come back and get it.
Absolutely. We do's our best.
Yeah, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Hey, Yolanda and Brandy. We had some people come in, and Tria and Desi. Thank y'all so much for hopping on with us tonight. But if you guys have any questions about it, like we'll take a minute and answer questions. And in the process, like we started talking about the pajama party that is coming up, because we'll talk a little bit more about these things
Ooh,
at the pajama party, which I'm so excited. The
yes.
was amazing. If you missed it,
Amazing.
you missed it. It was
You
amazing.
missed it. Yes,
Have
God.
the opportunity to talk to jump on this one when we do it on February the 28th. But leading
Mhm.
up to that, we'll be talking about different things. Like we're talking about relationships tonight. Next week, we'll talk about trauma bonds, and we'll talk about
Mhm.
like the spiritual impact of heartbreak, which we kind of touched on a little bit on tonight.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more in depth about that in the weeks to come, and then we'll end it by giving you some tips on how you can deal with the heartbreak when it happens. Because
Yeah.
one thing for sure, you will deal with heartbreak at some point in time if you have not already.
Yes.
And like there's a point, like if you don't deal with it, you and we talk about this all the time. Anything you
Yes.
don't deal with is still there. It
It's
is
still
still
there.
there. It's showing up at some point in time in your life, in your relationship, your dating, where your friendships, wherever it is, it's your parenting, like
Yes.
yeah, all of this can it's gonna show up somewhere. And so if you find that you're stuck, you got to get past that place. Like if you're gonna get to what we were talking about in the beginning, where God is telling you you need to get to, and it is an urgency. It is an urgency in the spirit, especially for women.
Hallelujah.
Because God has a call on women this year. Like it's an
Yeah.
urgency behind it. I know I sense it. I know
Yeah.
Dr. K sense it. And
Yeah.
so you have to get to where God is pulling you at this point for you
Mhm.
to get to. So now is the time for you to overcome those barriers, overcome those issues so that you can get there. I think we have a question, Dr. K.
Okay.
Ooh, this is how do you deal with the grief of losing your husband?
Mm. Mm.
You want to tackle it?
Mm. Sure. I mean, there's nothing easy about grief, right? And so, you have to give yourself time, you have to give yourself grace, you have to really be honest with yourself. If you find that your space of grief is lingering and getting worse and deepening, then I say you should go and get some support, so that you're not isolated or trying to deal with that space alone, right? And so grief is different for different people. There's not an overall like prescription for grief, because grief is personal, right? So one person, it could be sleeplessness, it could be they lost an appetite, it could be so many that for the other person it could be that they start eating too much, it could be that they start sleeping too much and they go into a depression. So how do you deal with it? You first really acknowledge that it's okay to not be okay, right? You go through those, understand you may go through those steps of being angry, of bargaining, of the different steps that happen when we lose someone. But for this space and for this time, I just say give yourself grace and give yourself time and be
Mm-hmm.
honest with how you're feeling. And if you feel as though it's becoming debilitating, then I would urge you to go and get some therapy, because grief hides in our bodies, grief hides in our lungs, grief hides in our kidneys. Sometimes we become sick behind grief. And so it is really important that you're processing, that you're asking yourself, what do you need? How do I want to go about holidays now? How do I want to go about their birthday? Who do I need? What boundaries do I need? What do I really ask yourself? What is it that you need? And then give yourself that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's good, Dr. K. That's good. Thank you so much for asking that question, Bonnie. All right. I don't see any more questions in the chat. We love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us on the night. For all of those who engaged, I see a lot of comments in the comment section. So thank you all for engaging on tonight. Thank you for your questions. We love y'all. Join us back here next Friday night, same time, as we talk about, I think trauma bonds is what we're talking about next.
Yeah. Is it a
Oh,
trauma bond?
oh, I don't know, Dr. K.
I don't know either. We better look at that thing, be able to decipher.
And see what we're talking about.
Yes,
We'll
ma'am.
post. We got one more question, Dr. K. Okay. How do you learn to trust and let new
Mm.
people in, I assume, after
After
betrayal?
you got it, Dr. Tiff.
Okay. I would say I think Dr. K talked about this when she said that people have to earn your heart. Like they have to earn that. So take it slow because you don't just trust anybody with your life and with your heart, with your space, with your nothing until they have proven themselves to be trustworthy. So I
Mm.
would say take it slow, look
Mhm.
at them, evaluate them from a lens of, okay, I'm trying to see if what you say line up with what I'm seeing in my eyes, and let them give them time to just kind of prove
Mhm.
themselves. Because if you've been hurt and you have a history of
Mhm.
picking people that are not trustworthy, then you might need to invite somebody else in that may have an objective view to give you an opinion on that you trust. Now, not somebody that's that
Mhm.
may have an agenda, but
Mhm.
someone that you trust in that's going to have objective eyes to give you an opinion on that person. But I would say just take it slow and then definitely have your boundaries, what you will accept, what you won't accept, how you know when you need to walk away, how do you know that you need to correct them on something and reinforce your boundaries. So just take it slow and have a plan.
Amen. That's good, Dr. Tiff. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, Bunny's okay. Hey, Bunny, will you connect with one of us out offline if you whichever one, Dr. K or myself? I'm Dr. Tiffany Ross or Tiffany Ross on Facebook, and she is Dr. K Stallings, right? On
Mhm.
Facebook. Yeah, connect with one of us, just message us and we can get you started on that, okay? All right. We love y'all so much. Join us
Thank
back here next Friday night.
you.
Good night to
Good
y'all.
night.